Running a small business is like gardening in the windiest city in the world. You have a constant turbulence of financial stress and uncertainty. 5 years ago, I quit my full-time job as the head of a behavioral science unit to tend to a garden in Wellington, which happens to be the windiest city in the world. And I also started a research consultancy to train people with tools to think like a behavioral scientist. But my baby business wouldn't survive even 6 months through a global pandemic without frameworks from psychology to keep me grounded. Just as we stake our seedlings to provide resilience, you can use these frameworks to give your business idea the chance it deserves. When I am evaluating a business idea, I like to use the fear setting exercise to help me manage my own anxieties and fears. Counterintuitively, I find that writing down my fears with a great degree of precision, including worst-case scenarios, helps me stay better planned with what I can do to prevent or repair a situation in case it occurs. This exercise, developed by venture capitalist and author Tim Ferriss, is super useful, but one particular aspect of this framework made all the difference to me. And that is, what is the cost of action and what is the cost of inaction? As Tim Ferriss says, most people will choose unhappiness over uncertainty. When you are evaluating a new business idea or deciding to quit your job, ask yourself these two questions. What's the cost of action versus the cost of inaction? And write down your feelings with a great degree of specificity. Remember, your feelings contains within it untapped wisdom. Daniel Vassallo, a former software engineer at Amazon AWS, quit his cushy $500K job. Why? Because he believed only intrinsic motivation lasts. In a Medium article, he wrote, "I'm going all in on independence and I'm going to try to make a living with my own bare hands, starting from nothing. I don't expect to only do things that I like, but it will be on my own terms. My target is to cover my family's expenses before I run out of savings while doing something that intrinsically motivates me." After 6 months of not going anywhere, he realized that he would need to change his strategy if he wanted to avoid going back into corporate life. Inspired by Nassim Taleb's thoughts on randomness, Daniel Vassallo wondered, could this strategy be applied to business building? Instead of going all in one business idea, he decided to formulate a strategy of placing many small bets. In the next 9 months, Daniel Vassallo made more than $200K based on 2 business ideas. One was an information book titled How to Use AWS, based on his time and learnings while working for Amazon AWS. And the second business idea that paid off was about how to build a Twitter audience, which was a series of online videos. Daniel Vassallo soon realized that the time spent on an idea does not correlate with the outcome or success, and it becomes impossible to predict which business ideas will make the most money. Just like we may buy ETFs or mutual funds to diversify our investment portfolio instead of individual stocks. Run many small experiments so that you can spread your risk across many different business ideas. When I started my consultancy business in 2019, my goals were all about thriving. I wanted to expand into 3 countries over the next 3 years, and I had already booked my flight tickets from New Zealand to Australia to explore new business opportunities. But then came the 2020 global pandemic, and very quickly I had to change my mindset from thriving to surviving. I found comfort in this quote from The Psychology of Money. A plan is only useful if it can survive reality. So I asked myself, what would my life look like if I had to go back into full-time employment? I have a strong desire for agency to work on projects and causes and with people that matter to me, and I felt this may have been taken away from me if I had to go back into a full-time job, so I decided to double down on survival. But surviving is not the same as thriving. Or is it? In the time that I have survived in business, many of my competitors have gone out of business. I have found a product market fit and intrinsic motivation for the work that I love to do. While we cannot control all the external events like global pandemics, inflation, unemployment, rising cost of living, what we can control is our agency to show up and consistently put in effort every day, irrespective of the chaos in the outside world. I remind myself that every year of surviving in business is the same as thriving. May you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may we all be financially well.